don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll.
Hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
That's absolutely free, folks. Head over to MyPillow.com. Even get your travel pillow. I'll be taking my travel pillow with me when we head to D.C. in 2 weeks and about, 17 hours. Something like that. 2 weeks, 17 hours. Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We've got an update on CIF. They've issued new guidelines for this weekend's track tournament, where a boy will still be competing against the females. We got some investigations underway now. We'll talk about those investigations and not only the schools, but the whole thing all together. It's just crazy what we're seeing here in California, these Democrat-controlled states where, again, they just want to take away from young girls' opportunity to work hard, compete, and win. And it's really unfortunate. But we got a whole lot of stuff to talk about, so I hope you guys are ready. I want to say thank you for everybody tuning in. Let me see who's all in the chat really quick. Let's see. We got Trina in the house. Hello, Trina. How are you? Old Uncle Bill in the house. Check that out. Old Uncle Bill, how are you doing, sir? Hunter from the Netherlands. What's up, Hunter? How are you? See, Susan K. Spencer joining in. Jay keeps asking. He keeps asking, and nobody's responding. Let's see. Who else do we got down here? Sugar Bear. K. Texas. Rolling along the road, probably. And then let's get down to the bottom, see if we got any newbies in here. B. Mikey, KLM79, Texas Bigfoot, Nola, thank you. And Deb V, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. If I can ask you to do a favor, if you could hit that thumbs up, like the stream wherever you're watching. If you're on Rumble, hit it there. If you're on Twitch, hit it there. We appreciate you. If you're over there on Locals, thank you for watching us on Locals as well. Eventually, we're going to get this thing fixed where we can be live back on Twitter. I'm praying. Getting a notification right here. But how many of you all take advice from men? You guys ever take advice from men? Would you take advice from this
Best thing you can do
Hold on,
if you make
let's check it out. We got some clout.
My father still messes up my pronouns all the time, and not maliciously. My father still messes up my pronouns all the time, and not maliciously or for lack of trying. And I too occasionally misgender myself. Now, what do you do if you happen to get someone's pronouns wrong? For a lot of people, it's actually worse to make an apology and ask for their forgiveness. Best thing you can do if you make a mistake is to quickly correct yourself and move on. And the thing that will help you get someone's pronouns consistently correct is to practice. And always make the effort to correct yourself when you're wrong, and to correct those around you when they are wrong too. My father still messes up my pronouns all the time, and not maliciously or for lack of trying. And I too occasionally misgender myself.
How many times? I mean, I know RW has done that. Texas RW misgendered. I don't think I can actually say I don't think I've ever misgendered myself. You probably don't have that problem if you just go along the way you were created in life. But if you guys wanted advice from a man, I figured I would give it to you to start the show. And check that out. B Mikey 157 gifted 10 subscriptions to the Oreo Express. Thank you, B Mikey. If you guys receive a subscription over here on Rumble, give him a shout out, tell him thank you. And if you're in the chat and you're not a subscriber, all you got to do is chat and it'll give you a subscription. So want to say thank you, B Mikey. Appreciate your support. We also have KLM79 says, if you have an Adam's apple, you might be a male. Did you know, and I think we covered it a couple weeks ago, you might, I don't know how many of you were in here. I was telling Rachel this the other day when we seen one of these people. I was like, do you know there is Adam apple reduction surgery? Like, you were paying for that when our military members were going into the military to transition and taking taxpayer funds to do it. They were getting Adam's apple reductions. I was like, who does this? Who does this? It's just crazy, but that's not all the craziest that we're going to share with you today. Let's talk about this. Check out this man.
This is to all my trans women out there that you know that we deserve love, that we deserve such a pure love because we love so hard. And if you feel in your soul that man is not working, listen to it. Listen to it. Protect yourself. These men aren't fucking shit. They're not fucking shit. I am so sick and tired of nurturing these broken fucking men who literally have nothing to offer but stress and heartache. I am done. We may not be able to give you a fucking biological baby, but no matter what,
What? I've seen the emoji. Men can get pregnant.
the love that we give to certain people in our lives will fulfill that more than fucking blood. Because you know why? Our community has proven that time and time again. I don't need a man who is basing love off fucking science. And for that, I am done. I am done.
I've never based love off science before. Upset that I can promise this guy that's not the reason why men don't want to be with him, unless he finds a gay man that might like him. But again, it's tough here because again, this mental illness is disturbing to say the least. But this is what it does to folks. This is the path that teachers and educators want to take your children down. This is what they encourage in the state of California. This is what Gavin Newsom and Rob Bonta, the Attorney General, are suing so that teachers can keep secrets. And I promise you, we're not doing these people any favors by going along with them, by continuing the lie. They need honesty and they need truth, and it's sad. It's absolutely sad. I seen this and I was like, please, like I don't pray for this stuff very often, but Lord, please let this happen to me. Take a look at this.
Excuse me, have you got to respect? I asked her to excuse me.
We're not moving.
I asked her to excuse
She did,
me.
and she said no. So now
Let
you
go
go
of
around
me,
the other way.
please.
Sir, she said no. So go around the
I
other
don't
way.
care. You don't control my passage anywhere, okay? She doesn't belong to me. She doesn't pay guys. Excuse me, I've asked you several times.
What you're doing now,
I've asked you several times.
you're assaulting someone, sir. You're
I've
assaulting
asked you
someone.
several times, please. I've asked you nicely.
You've not been provoked.
You've done. I want to go down that way.
Yes, you can go around and get your
Her several times nicely.
She said no.
She doesn't have the right to say no.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Who the hell you think you are? You know what? I'm just going to tell you, that happens to me. I'm going to back that card up and I'm just going to go as fast as I can. It's going to be like one of those video games. I am going to plow through them. You want to take my rights away? You want to impede my movement, my travel, my shopping? We'll have fun with you. We'll have fun with you. I promise you, when you see that person on the nightly news crying about the Nazi Oreo, it looks like they're gonna have grill marks from that shopping cart. This is just insane.
I want to get past here.
You can go around, madam.
No, I'm not going round. You move.
No, we're not moving. No.
Well, I'll just knock you out of the way with my trolley then.
Do what you're saying, madam, but we're here to make a protest and make a point. Okay?
Oh, that's assault. No, you know what? In that country, it is. That's probably the UK. And it probably is assault. It's probably like California. But I'd still have fun. I think y'all would bail me out, right? Check this out, Matt. Matt said, we can't get that lucky. I know, right? I just want to see that one time. And then, you know what? More than anything, I don't want to have, and this doesn't happen often, I don't want to have any MAGA gear or anything that's conservative like the Awake Not Woke hat on. I just play stupid and just full throttle. GTA Grand Theft Auto 4 in a shopping cart. I would love it. I would love it. What's up, haha? What's up, Matt? Chatty Cathy's in the house. Diana Birch. There is 10. I think you guys will get them. Those people chatting that aren't members right now. B. Mikey donated or gifted 10 subscriptions, and we thank him very much for that. Old Uncle Bill did earlier. Thank you guys so much for your guys' help in keeping the platform on the air, the lights on, and the data moving. I seen this, and I want to tell you the headline because we're doing some Clown World stuff right here. It says, furious Americans are now lining up outside Rep. Scott Perry's office to deliver a message in person. We will not bankroll Trump's con. This isn't just opposition, it's open revolt. The people are fed up and they're dragging Republicans' leadership into the daylight. No more backroom deals, no more gaslighting. I seen this and I was like, oh, no, another Unite the White rally. This is, I think because the heat, wherever this is, they're moving the protest inside. Again, I want you to look at this and you will say, Josh, that looks like all the protests you went to at the Teslas. And then you know what I looked at really quick, because this could be an old folks home. I was looking for Joe Biden somewhere in the background. I thought I would see him in there sniffing someone's hair. Take a look at this video. They're proud of this. Democrats, this is what they're posting, by the way.
Excuse me.
Ain't a damn person in there not white. Where's their diversity, Democrats? So they're bragging about that. And again, I told you, I feel for a lot of these folks. These folks, hook, line, and sinker. They've been told They've been told that Elon Musk is going to get their Social Security. They've been told they're kicked off their health care. All lies by the Democrats because Democrats don't have a platform to run on. Right now, they're running in boys and girls sports, boys and girls restrooms. They ran on open borders. Thank God for President Trump on day one with his executive orders. But this is all they really have, folks. This is embarrassing. And I feel for those people, honestly. If they knew the truth, nothing's going to, you know what? The truth is something would have happened with Social Security if we didn't act. What was it, 9.5 years? And there's still a lot to do, don't get me wrong. But it's just absolutely crazy. Jay keeps asking, gifted a subscription to the Oreo Express. And B. Mikey, what's up? Thank you. Thank you. Jay keeps asking. I can't figure this stuff out. Now, how about this? Byron Donalds posted this today on X. Has to do with you have to be an adult. Listen, this is his post. You have to be an adult to enter a strip club. But a Clinton-appointed judge, John Steele, wants sexually explicit drag shows to take place next to a popular children's playground in Naples. This ruling is, it says, atrocious, and the city of Naples should appeal this case to the Supreme Court. What is going on with
wants to implement an age requirement and move it in.
The city of Naples loses a last-minute appeal to stop an outdoor drag show performance at Pride Fest next weekend. Now, U.S. Congressman Byron Donalds is weighing in on the judge's ruling, and he's not mincing words. Wink News anchor Claire Gauld is live in the newsroom with the very latest. Claire.
Amanda, Congressman Byron Donalds just told me through a text that the ruling is atrocious and that the city of Naples should appeal the case to the Supreme Court. He told me, quote, "You have to be an adult to enter a strip club, but Clinton-appointed judge John Steele wants sexually explicit drag shows to take place next to a popular children's playground in Naples." This is that playground he's referencing, right next to that main stage at Cambier Park. Now, this is video from the last time that show happened outside in 2022. The city wants to implement an age requirement and move it indoors away from children, they said. Spokesperson made it very clear today they are not giving up the fight. They said the city's legal team right now is reviewing, talking about these next steps, but they didn't say what those steps are. We're also working to talk to Naples Pride right now to get their reaction.
Again, there's nothing other than pedophilia that can explain a grown man in women's lingerie dancing for tips from children. There is nothing else that can explain that. That is sick. It is disgusting. It is disturbing. These people are detestable. And I just can't believe, again, it's funny how the First Amendment can be portrayed for leftists to do this stuff. Man, 20 years ago, there would be a mob of angry people out there, and those pedophiles would have never got out of the car to dance.
The city of Naples loses.
Sickening. Well, what else we got now? James Comey's a little upset. We covered the fact that they're reopening the investigation into the January 6th pipe bomber, the cocaine in the White House, and the Dobbs leak from the Supreme Court. And James Comey's not happy with all that for some reason. I wonder why. Take a listen to James Comey right here. This is just great. I mean, again, this guy's on his book tour after posting the 8647 seashells probably a little over a week ago. But take a listen to this. He went on CNN, and then he even says that, Dan Bongino, a former podcaster, not talking about his Secret Service experience, his anything like that, but that's okay. That's okay. We know who's hurt right
This
now.
seems much more narrowly targeted, maybe.
Something supported by a lot of conservatives out there. What do you make of this?
It's a little confusing to me, honestly. I'm sure it's a huge adjustment to go from being a podcaster to being the deputy director of the FBI, but I don't understand this tweet. First of all, I assume that the investigation of the pipe bomb that was found on January 6th was never closed. The FBI never closes such a thing. And
they never looked for the person either. You know why? They know who it is. and they've buried those files pretty deep. I don't know if we'll ever know, but I told you guys when the FBI contacted me, I'd have to look at the exact date, but we got back from DC January 8th. I believe January 8th or 9th, we flew back from DC. And it was like 4 or 5 days later, I get a call and the FBI wants to. And the excuse they used was, well, there was that pipe bombing, the pipe bombs that were planted. And we have a suspect, and we want you to look at the photo of this suspect and see if you recognize them. You're not in any, you know how they do it. You're not in any trouble or anything. And but just see if you recognize, maybe you spotted him while you were there. You were there for quite a few days. And I call some legal advice. I was like, yeah, sure, come on over. And they come in, sit on my couch, and you had the bad detective, the good detective. One of them was from Fresno, the woman was from Los Angeles, FBI. And they're sitting there and they're asking all these questions. They're trying to slow move its way in there. And then they start asking me about other stuff that I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then like after 20 minutes, I'm like, I thought you guys were here to show me a picture of somebody. Oh, yeah. They start going through their folder. You know what? We must have left that on the desk. And I was like, all right, well, when you guys get it, let me know. I'll let you know if I've seen anybody. And they get up and walk out. They were never looking for the pipe bomber.
I guess it means they're going to focus on it more. And as to the other things, I thought the Supreme Court marshal had investigated the...
Bill said, then they handed me a mirror and said, is that the pipe bomber?
The leak of the opinion, the draft opinion. I don't know what the FBI's role is there. Cocaine at the White House. I thought the Secret Service investigated that. So I don't follow it and understand it. I also don't understand who the audience is for this tweet. The FBI often calls for public assistance or in matters of great public concern will announce an investigation to reassure the public. This seems much more narrowly targeted, maybe to a former podcast audience.
Maybe to a former podcast audience. No, to the American people, the people that voted for investigation, the people that want the actual truth. Why was there cocaine in the White House and why wasn't anybody charged? Why did the FBI or Secret Service actually lie to us and said there was no DNA on the bag when there was? These are things we voted for and we want answers to.
That's potentially what's going on. I want to get your also reaction to an exchange the new FBI Director Kash Patel had with Democratic Senator Patty Murray during a recent congressional hearing. Listen to this.
Director Patel, where is the FY 2026 budget request for the FBI?
It's being worked on, ma'am.
Have you reviewed it? Have you approved it?
Not yet.
When will we get it?
As soon as I can get it from my interagency partners and get it approved.
That is insufficient and deeply disturbing.
Deeply disturbing.
No response?
I've given my response.
I love him.
Are you concerned that the FBI will still be able to fulfill all of its important duties with Director Kash Patel leading the Bureau?
I hope so. That I cringe at that clip. I actually feel kind of sorry for the guy. It's like showing up for a final exam with no pencils.
Oh, man. You know what's funny is we could go back to all the time he was lying about, was there any confidential human sources at the Capitol on January 6th. Oh, no. I mean, all the times he lied and got caught in his lies, I would love for him to be held accountable. Do I think that's going to happen? Not unless they dig up some dirt. But what we have been seeing from the FBI is a lot of pedophile rings being busted, a lot of human trafficking rings being busted. We've seen a lot of crime. How about this? This was one thing. Breaking FBI Boston has arrested Thomas Brady, the former assistant deputy superintendent for jail operations at Norfolk Sheriff, in connection with an alleged extortion scheme to force subordinate employees to perform free labor at his residence. Just 6 months ago, all we seen is another home invaded from somebody that turred the Capitol on January 6th. How many times did we bring that up a day? Every time, this person's got arrested for January. What'd they do? Well, they entered a restricted building, or they were on restricted grounds. They didn't even enter the building. Yeah, this is what people voted for, is actual work from the FBI. And to speak about this, listen to this. The Oversight Committee. Think about what they're doing right now. Listen to this.
That's right. Oversight Committee Chairman Comer tells
for Joe Biden and several key staffers. They may all face subpoenas if they do not comply by tomorrow. So now there's a deadline to this. So there's a ramp up now by Republicans. In a social media post, President Trump wrote, "Whoever had control of the auto pen is looking to be a bigger and bigger scandal by the moment." Aisha Hasni reporting in Washington. Aisha.
Hey, good morning to you, Harris. So that's right. Oversight Committee Chairman Comer tells me that his committee is ready to drop those subpoenas within minutes if former President Biden's doctor and those 4 other staffers do not respond to his request for an interview by tomorrow's deadline. Comer is also telling me that he's willing to expand those summons to include former First Lady Jill Biden, their son, Hunter Biden, and former Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, if that is where the committee's investigation leads them.
Obviously, we're interested in the Jean-Pierre. We're interested in people like Ian Sams. We're also interested in Jill Biden and Hunter Biden. So, but first step is bring these lower level employees in. We believe these employees that most people have never heard of had a huge amount of influence in the use of the auto pen.
So several folks from Biden's Oval Office inner circle have stayed quiet amid the cover-up allegations, but they're still active out there. Ron Klain is now Airbnb's chief legal officer. Anita Dunn now works with the super PAC Future Forward. Mike Donnellan is a Harvard fellow, and Bob Bauer teaches at NYU Law. And we're told that don't rule these people out as well. They could also be interviewed. If the committee does find any wrongdoing in their investigation, Harris, and Chairman Comer says that he would send criminal referrals to AG Pam Bondi. So stay tuned. Harris.
We will. Aisha, thank you. Jason Chaffetz, now Fox News contributor, former Utah congressman, who also chaired the House Oversight Committee, which is leading this effort now. This feels like it's right on time. Keep the press on. Your take.
Yeah, Chairman Comer is doing this the right way. You got to bring in the underlying employees. You start getting them on the record under oath, telling us who, how, who authorized this, who was allowed to put in it, who was in the chain of custody of these documents. It is the most powerful thing you have, the signature of the President of the United States.
Yeah.
And I want to highlight something. The pardon for the Biden family is distinctly different. I have looked at all of these, and I am telling you that looks like Joe Biden personally signed the ones for his family, but so many of these others, literally thousands of pardons and other documents appear to all be on an auto pen. So who authorized that? Comer's going to figure that out.
So that's so interesting because you would know about this device. I've been doing some research. Barack Obama reportedly used an auto pen to sign the Patriot Act extension while he was traveling in France. That was in 2011. And we know that it's been used by other presidents. But what you're saying is there's a way to tell the difference?
Yeah, you can look at the signatures itself, and you want to go through, and the staffers that were put up on the screen, those really are highlighted. The other thing that's different than, for instance, when I was chairman, is you have a president in Donald Trump who actually wants justice, and the one to actually enforce. If the subpoena, you're only as good as your subpoena as your ability to enforce it. The person who would be in charge of actually enforcing that subpoena would be the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, who is Jeanine Pirro.
That's right. And you remember when there was subpoenas and for the sham J6 committee, 2 people went to jail for not appearing. So nobody is above the law. So when these people deny that subpoena, I would expect the same thing, wouldn't you? We've seen... Man, why is my brain drawing a blank? War Room, Steve Bannon go to jail. Peter Navarro go to jail. I believe in equal justice. So subpoena them and let's get a move on with this. I think that will be absolutely great. Speaking of pardons, another Comey scam, or maybe not Comey, but another scam by the FBI. And Trump was asked about a pardon today about that. Take a listen.
And probably some people don't know. One more. Go ahead, please.
Will you pardon the people who are accused of conspiring to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer?
I'm going to look at it. I will take a look at it. It's been brought to my attention. I did watch the trial. It looked to me like somewhat of a railroad job. I'll be honest with you. It looked to me like some people said some stupid things. You know, they were drinking, and I think they said stupid things. But I'll take a look at that. And a lot of people are asking me that question from both sides, actually. A lot of people think they got railroaded. A lot of people think they got railroaded. And probably some people don't. One more.
We covered that extensively, and those people did get railroaded. When the FBI is using their confidential human sources to plot and plan, and some people got off because of that. They tried to destroy their lives, make them look like evil terrorists. And the FBI has been known for that. Even people with somewhat of, I guess I would say, a mental deficiency, so they can get the big case and coerce them into saying things that they wouldn't normally say, and say, guess what? I have an opportunity. If you can come up with money, I can get the bombs for that, and do all these things just so they can get a conviction and make themselves look like heroes. The FBI has done that for quite a while. We covered this a little while ago on our first show, but just want to go over it again. The White House will be sending a DOJ rescission package to Congress on Monday, per the Trump budget director, Russ Vought. Take a listen. Because that was one of our problems. That was one of the things. Elon did such a great job. His team did such a great job, but we weren't codifying any of this. None of those things are going to be worth anything if we don't act on them. And so take a listen to this.
So rumor has it that we got a big rescission package and Elon Musk DOJ package coming up. Can you confirm it?
I can. We'll be sending that up on Monday or Tuesday, whenever the House is back in session. They will get our first rescissions bill. And again, this has been proposed, and we've talked about it. We want to make sure that Congress passes its first rescissions bill, including the DOJ, and we will send more if they pass it. And so this is the first one, is foreign aid, USAID cuts, many of the waste and garbage that was funding not only wasteful but hurting our foreign policy, but also the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and NPR. We'll be sending that up, and we're working with Congress. And we've had good conversations to make sure that they knew what was coming. They had some input as to changes that could be made to make it something that could pass the House, and we're excited for that to occur next week.
Simple majority. So rumor has it that...
So next week, I'm telling you, Republicans better get in line and do what the mandate was, and start some of these cuts with you. Make sure that NPR, USAID, none of those things are funded anymore. We don't need it. We don't need it. Now, listen to this. We got some California stuff. We've been playing a lot of Carl DeMaio's speaking engagements over at the Capitol in Sacramento. I just want you to listen to this one. Again, when you start realizing we haven't had somebody really this vocal in quite a while in California. I mean, we have some conservatives, don't get me wrong, but just calling out all these things and almost playing stupid when he's asking the questions. Take a listen.
Cap and invest? Who in the hell came up with that one? Because when I'm looking at the cap and trade, at least you can understand that the folks that back it, which I don't, were saying that we were going to cap the carbon emissions and then allowed a trading system to create somewhat of a market-based system to reduce carbon emissions. Again, I think it just doesn't work. But that being said, that's a different debate. So now we're calling it cap and invest. What's the invest? What's this invest concept here?
So I think it's similar to the branding that Washington State has used for their similar market-based program, but more so what we've been discussing here today and for many years is the use of the proceeds of the sale of allowances. How does the state using those to invest in its programs across the board?
So what's the return on investment? You would presume reduction in CO2, correct?
So I think there are different thoughts on
Nope.
sort of how the proceeds of the sale of allowances are used. In statute, there's required to be a GHG nexus. However, recently the state has used it for other purposes. And as the LEO mentioned earlier, GGRF is a flexible fund source that could be used similar to general fund.
No, that's where I'm going. Thank you for admitting that. So it's not really cap and invest, because if you're investing in something, it started out as a carbon program to reduce CO2. Then we said we're going to do cap and invest, but the invest is, well, if you're investing, what is the return on investment? It's not a financial return because, government never makes money. Okay. We're not getting any money off of this. We spend money. You would presume, since it's a cap and trade program assessed for the environmental protection benefit, we would be getting an environmental benefit. But no, that's not really the green I'm seeing. I see a lot of money changing hands. No, what you just pointed out is exactly true. The governor is using cap and trade, and I think the legislature is guilty of this as well, as a way of covering general fund expenses. And you're seeing that right now with how you're using cap and trade for the fire budget. Those expenses are general fund expenses. You would argue that we pay our property tax revenues, our income tax revenues, so that we can have fire protection. It's like a core role of government. It's not one of these things that's like, oh, we're going to invest in something for CO2. No, it is a core role of government. But we're rating that program to cover general fund expenses. And then at the same time, we've got $1 billion rolling out for high-speed rail. Not a single bit of carbon has been reduced from billions of dollars of high-speed rail waste. I mean, what are we up to? Like $20 billion at this point, if you count the federal monies. And now we got $1 billion a year on a train that is never going to carry even one passenger. The fantasy of, Bakersfield to Merced, that heavily trafficked, corridor, we're not going to see that ever constructed. And so you don't see any CO2 benefit there. You don't even see a general fund backfill there. I could at least say we're getting a general fund benefit from the firefighter protection that the governor is shifting the money to. And so let's just be clear about this. If you want to be, truth in advertising, it's not cap and invest. It's not even cap and trade. Let's be clear for the environmentalists. This is not cap and trade. What this is, it's tax and spend. Let's call it what it is. The cap and trade program is a tax and spend program. And if people find that the benefit of the
calling it out, we've called that out before. It's just it's a slush fund. It's a slush fund. And when we get into California, like we just did with Carl DeMaio, there's some wokeness coming. I want to talk to you about this. This was released today. San Francisco Unified School District has a plan for equity grading. Equity grading. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Well, you already know when the left uses the term equity, it's not good. This says grading for equity plan briefly discussed. This was last night, right? At the board meeting. This equity grading is coming to 14 high schools in August. Homework and attendance will not be counted towards their academic grade. You can't make this stuff up. Take a look at this. And even Ro Khanna, who is a Democrat that sometimes pretends to be moderate, said, my immigrant dad asked me where the missing 10% was when I scored 90. So he got a 90%. His dad's like, where's the other 10%? He said he came to America for the chance to work hard and pursue excellence. Giving A's for 80% and no homework is not equity. It betrays the American dream and every parent who wants more for their child. And let me pull this one up and we'll read it to you. Says, without seeking approval of the San Francisco Board of Education, Superintendent of Schools Maria Su plans to unveil a new grading for equity plan on Tuesday. that will go into effect this fall at 14 high schools and covers over 10,000 students. The school district is already negotiating with an outside consultant to train teachers in August in a system that awards a passing C grade to as low as a score of 41 on a 100-point exam. This is equity, folks. Destroying the future of our children. Think about that. 41%. That's like an F minus, right? They're going to give a C to that person. So again, because we can't educate our children because of all the woke teachers and all the bureaucracy in our education system. And guess who this really affects, guys? The parents that are involved in their children's life that want to send their kid to school to do a great job. Imagine what it takes to get an A. What would that be? A C? 70% is an A with this thinking. And it says here, grading for equity eliminates homework or weekly tests from being counted in a student's final semester grade. So you're telling me you teach me something all week. I'm supposed to learn it. You give me a packet to take home to do. It's called homework. We've done it for a long time. We might have all hated it, but we did it. We turn it in. We hope for a decent grade. I was always happy with a B. I'll be honest with you. I was like, man, I don't like homework, but if I get a B, I'm happy. And then at the end of that week, they test you to see if you have learned anything. And the way education used to be, if you had a problem learning that, they would sit you after school and you would spend an hour and a half after school. You would miss sports if you were an after-school sports program kid. And you would touch up, what'd they call it? SRC was one of them, Student Responsibility Center, because obviously you weren't responsible enough to do your homework. Now that's racist. Now that's a bad thing. Do you not understand what they're doing to the next generation of children? Welcome to San Francisco, where the cancer spreads. When I got involved in school politics, it was because there was boys pretending to be girls in the locker room. It was common in San Francisco. Nowhere else had heard about it. And I said, it's coming to your school. Just wait and see. And you see what's going on this weekend at Buchanan, the CIF State Track Championship. It says all that matters is how a student scores on a final examination, which can be taken multiple times. Students can be late turning in assignments or showing up to class or not showing up at all without affecting their academic grade. Currently, a student needs a 90 for an A and at least a 61 for a D. Under San Leandro Unified School District's grading for equity system touted by the San Francisco Unified School District and its consultant, a student with a score as low as 80. So a C++, we call it a B minus, but pretty much C++, can attain an A. And as low as 21%, 21 out of 100. You get 100 questions and 21 are correct. 79 are wrong, and you can pass with a D, folks. This needs to have some major lawsuits. People need to be strung up. I'm telling you, this is destroying our children's education. Our future is reliant on future generations. These are the people that's supposed to pay into the system and work hard and do great things and make a better life for themselves. I promise you, you cannot go to a job and get a 21 out of 100 on an evaluation unless it's a government job and keep your job. This is insane, folks. Absolutely insane. And I just don't get it. There should be some major kickback. San Francisco might be libtardville, but there is conservatives down there. We go down there in MAGA hats. There's mostly is libtards, but we go into stores and the store owner says, man, I love that hat, man. Let's pray for that guy. And you're like, oh, I'm in San Francisco. Those people have kids. They're raising their children in that city. Now, there's a lot of elitists there that look at this and laugh because guess what? There's students getting private tutoring. They're going to a private school. They're not worried about public education. And I'll be honest, I remember telling Rachel this before I understood how complex this issue was. When we used to say, hey, we spend a lot of time working with our kids on educating them. I'll tell you what, Caden's 4 years old. He's a smart kid. He does workbooks all the time. He was doing his numbers. He knows a lot of things that they teach you in kindergarten. And we're focused on that. And that's great. I want him to have a leg up, right? I don't want him to struggle. But I remember used to thinking, man, that's good for our kids. You know what I mean? Because we have that at home. We have a structured environment. And then I started thinking, I was like, well, guess what? All those kids that have to rely on school as their only source of discipline, education. My son and my daughter, my sons and my daughters will have to carry them because they're not going to be worth a damn. They're going to be living off the government, living off my children's taxes. And I was like, man, that's not such a good thing. I mean, when you want your child to have a leg up, you can do that at home, but you don't want the school system failing all the other children because that's the future of our generation. This gives them an excuse, and I promise you in a couple years when these kids are just absolutely stupid and can't make it in the world, it's global warming. It's global warming causing this. I'll be honest with you, man. I think these people making these decisions should be locked up. When I read this today, I was like, I got to be reading this wrong. You're going to give someone that just scored 21% on a test a D? And we've covered colleges even that do some of this stuff. Not to this extent that I know of. But where does this lead us to our future? Where does this lead us? Say I retire in 20 years. Think about society, because this is not a one-off. They already said San Leandro School District is already doing something similar to this. Grading for equity system. Whenever you hear equity, equality, inclusion, run. All those things are bad news. And I remember saying that at the school board in 2015, and I was called a fascist, a racist. This is just, I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't even know what to say anymore, guys. This stuff boils my blood. Again, your kids, your grandkids, these people are going to be on their coattails. I mean, if there's no incentive to do anything, if you just want to, a lot of kids like to screw off. I like to screw off. I used to get kicked out of school. But I wasn't getting bad grades. I getting kicked out of school because of fighting. But that's how you earned your keep back then. It was a little different than now. I hated school, but I still knew I needed a diploma. I knew all those things, so I didn't say, you know what? But I'm wondering what my mindset would have been not liking school and then saying, I don't got to attend class. I ain't got to do my homework. It's just going to lead to stupid kids. Check this out. Speaking of DOJ and what we talked about earlier, I want you to listen to Pete Hegseth, the Department of Defense. Listen to some DOJ talk from Pete Hegseth. Take a listen.
As the Secretary of Defense, he gave all of us and me the mission of restoring the warrior ethos. And we're focused on that every single day. Now, one way we're doing this is by finding out what works at DOD and also what doesn't work. And that begins by finding out where we are spending taxpayer dollars. Now, part of what we've uncovered is that the Defense Department has become very much over-reliant on management, consultants, and contractors. We found that we likely have more contractors than we have civilian employees. And many of them, those contractors, are making more money than our career senior executive employees. To give you one example, the Air Force, working as a team with DOJ, cut that department's largest management consulting program. This joint team conducted a line-by-line audit of over 50 contract vehicles, saving $1 billion on the current program, $1 billion, and canceling its $3.8 billion extension, which we all know inevitably would have been spent. These, combined with other reviews over the past 2 weeks, have resulted in, get this, more than $5 billion in savings for the Department of Defense. Yes, $5 billion in addition to the over $5 billion we've already found in working with DOJ. So that brings the tally now to over $10 billion in real savings at the Department of Defense working with DOJ.
I think those are some good numbers. I think this is what I voted for. And I think this is just great. I think that all these different departments, I think there's waste, there's abuse, there's fraud. I think the one that was craziest to me was different, or one agency with different departments, all using different, because I come from a purchasing background. I'm a purchasing manager. I've been in the supply chain for 21 years, I think it was, before politics got me. And when you're not doing strategic planning, partnerships, negotiating contracts, so you got 12 different departments that are all buying the same thing, some from different, some from same, and you're not consolidating that purchase so you can negotiate better deals. That's millions of dollars in the federal government, probably up to billions of dollars that could be saved over a 5-year period. And that one just got me. But how about this one? We talked about the Kennedy Center. Democrats are now boycotting the Kennedy Center because Trump replaced their board, and they want to make it nice again and make it instead of a leftist shill in D.C. And listen to what Rick Grinnell said they have uncovered in the budgets from the 2024-2025 at the Kennedy Center. Listen to this.
Fraud on our great new CFO went through the 24 and 25 budgets of the Kennedy Center and found $26 million in phantom revenue, fake revenue. It's criminal. We're going to refer this to the U.S. Attorney's Office here. We're lucky enough to have the Attorney General on the board of the Kennedy. All the details today. She heard the details. And this is unacceptable in America, to have a fake revenue of $26 million fraud on previous donors. It's on our great new CFO went through the
That is insane. They are referring that
24
to the Department of Justice. And as we continue to dig deeper and deeper in all these little agencies, all these little slush funds that Democrats were using, I hope there's charges, and I hope people are prosecuted and end up in jail to send a message. Now, let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. Check this out. If you guys haven't been here. Oh, before I do, hey, we are 2 weeks and like 12, 13 hours away from heading to DC, and we could use your help. We are 100% viewer funded. We're going to be in DC. We're going to be covering the epic military parade that's going to be going on there, covering some of the protests in DC, and bringing you on the ground live coverage for a few days. If you guys could help us out, we would appreciate it. We need your help. You can go to and donate at Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. And as always, we have a Zelle link. If you do mobile online banking, you can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com, and there's a donate now button. And you can click that. It'll have the links, and it'll have that Zelle link as well. So just want to say thank you for everybody. You can also do Rumble rants on here. And We appreciate you more than you know, guys, and we're going to be bringing it to you live. And it's going to, you won't want to miss that coverage. So we've covered this since yesterday. Trump announced that, let me pull up Trump's post, and this is happening in our backyard. It says California, under the leadership of radical left Democrat Gavin Newsom, continues to illegally allow men to play in women's sports. This week, a transitioned male athlete at a major event won everything and is now qualified to compete in the state finals next weekend as a male. That's this Friday and Saturday, by the way. He was less than average competitor as a female. This transition person is practically unbeatable. This is not fair and totally demeaning to women and girls. Please be hereby advised that large-scale federal funding will be held back, maybe permanently, if the executive order on this subject matter is not adhered to. The governor himself said it was unfair. I will speak to him today and find out which way he wants to go. In the meantime, I am ordering local authorities, if necessary, listen to this, local authorities, if necessary, to not allow the transition person to compete in the state finals. This is a totally ridiculous situation. So before I get into what happened today, I want to remind you guys, wherever you're at, Saturday should be pretty big. We got people coming in from surrounding areas on Saturday, but we will be out there both Friday and Saturday. If you can come down, we would appreciate the support. Friday, May 30th, from 1:30 to 3:30. Saturday, May 31st, from 3 to 5. It's at Buchanan High School, the Veterans Memorial Stadium, and this is a Protect Girls Sports. Bring your signs that say protect our daughters, protect girls sports. XX does not equal XY. Bring all that stuff with you, and we will be out there bringing you coverage of that event as well. Now, this was today. U.S. Attorney Bill Asaili check this out. It says, today, my office, along with A.G. Dillon, is taking action to combat California's practices of allowing boys to compete in girls' sports. We are launching a Title IX investigation into CIF and Jurupa Unified School District for allowing a boy to dominate on the track team and take first place in competitions. We are also getting involved in an ongoing lawsuit against the Riverside Unified School District for allowing a boy to displace a girl on the cross-country team. This is huge, guys. This is why we've been screaming. We were down at Chino Valley. What was that, 2.5 weeks ago? Where the board president in Chino Valley, Sonia, they passed a resolution to call on President Trump to help, because every time the local school board wants to take local control, Gavin Newsom and Attorney General Rob Bonta try to twist that and sue them so they can't have local control, so they cannot follow federal laws. This is getting bigger and bigger by the day. We have something in store for you for tomorrow, too. So you want to be around tomorrow. But this is absolutely crazy. I'm glad that the U.S. Attorney in California is doing this. And then this was another one. Breaking, Harmeet Dillon is leading a DOJ investigation into California schools for allowing biological males to compete against girls. It says she has reasonable cause to believe that the California Interscholastic Federation is infringing on the rights of female athletes. Under Trump, women will get their rights back. Women will get their privacy back. This was all promised, and it's working. And I'm glad California did this for this specific reason. And I'm thankful for all the people who have stood up, all the people that'll be at this protest, all the people that's been fighting this for as long. I mean, think about it. We started this fight, and I started this fight in 2015 here at CUSD when the school district lied and said there was no males in female locker rooms. So this is going to be epic. Listen to, we'll pull up the the letter here. It says, Dear Mr. Nosetti, on February 12, 2025, the United States Department of Education Office of Civil Rights, U.S. Ed, announced an investigation against the California Interscholastic Federation to determine whether CIF has violated its obligation under Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972, Title IX, 20 U.S.C. 1681, by allowing male students to compete against female students in athletics. This letter is to advise you that the United States Department of Justice will work with a coordination with U.S. Ed in its investigation, for it is also the responsibility of the Attorney General of the United States to enforce provisions of Title IX. The Attorney General has delegated the authority to investigate compliance with these provisions to the Assistant Attorney General of Civil Rights Division. This is exactly what we want to see. We don't want it to get this far, but this is exactly what we want to see. Again, if you know anybody that's in the area, if you are in the area, and again, like I said, if you can't make Friday and Saturday, come down Saturday. Saturday will be epic. So CIF responded again. Yesterday, or was it early this morning, CIF responded and said, oh, well, we've changed some things. They've pretty much, from what I understand, did what transgender said was discriminatory. So you cannot be displaced by the male athlete. So they'll literally give 2 first place trophies, a participation trophy, essentially, to A.B. Hernandez, the male that is pretending to be a female, and then an actual first place trophy to the female who beat the other females, right? And this is just asinine. And then they came out with verbiage, was it last night or yesterday? And they started using cisgender, which is a derogatory statement for normal people. Again, when they start using these far left phrases and pronouns, you lose me every time. And then this is from Sophia Laurie. She posted this: breaking, CIF state just released another update, and yet they're still allowing a male athlete to compete in girls' events. It says, if A.B. Hernandez qualifies in triple, long, and high jump on Friday, the first actual girl left out will now be added to Saturday's finals. And it seems if he takes first, they will also award first to the girl who would have won. This is... I can't believe this is all breaking down in my backyard, guys. I can't believe this. Again, Clovis area. My high school that I graduated from is where all this is happening. It's just insane. It's insanity. Let girls compete against girls and boys compete against boys. Simple. You're born a boy, you're a boy. But no, this insanity. This is insanity. Let me pull this up really quick, guys. I don't got any coffee today, but I got some iced tea. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, and there's only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focused. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions. And a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. That's $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Go to 1775.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe in. So go check them out, guys. 1775coffee.com/studio. All right. What else do we got to cover? Some wins. We're making America healthy again. Just in, Skittles will be removing titanium dioxide from their products in the U.S. This comes just days after RFK Jr. called out this ingredient when he released the Make America Healthy Again report. We covered that last week. He called out this exact ingredient. It may cause cellular and DNA damage. And so Skittles is going to be removing that from its products. So we'll call that a win for today. We'll call that for a win. We can get one a day. We're good. Oh, we're going to have another win. One of the Jihad squad members, Rep. Ian Omar, says because the Trump administration froze Title 10 funding for 4 Planned Parenthood clinics in Minnesota are forced to close. So these abortion mills, aka Planned Parenthood, are closing. That's great news. That's great news. They want to continue to say that, oh, but who's going to get their reproductive care? And remember, they call abortions reproductive care, but to produce is to create something. To reproduce is for you to create something, not murder it. They're worried about STD testing. There's other clinics for that. And again, I hate to say it, guys, but until we put the responsibility on the folks, they're never going to do anything for themselves. But I thought that was a win. And she said, this is the GOP agenda. Let's go GOP. MIT scraps DEI office, ends program amid Trump's fight with Harvard. So MIT has now scrapped their DEI office. This is good news. Trump called on them to do this. It's not about equity. We just learned a lot about equity with what they're doing in San Francisco with 14 high schools and over 10,000 students, which is if you get 21% on a test, that is a D. So let's get rid of the DEI programs. Also, Trump is doing a litany of nominations to the federal district courts. Let me go through some of them. Take a listen. I am pleased to announce the nomination of Kyle Dudek to serve as judge on the United States District Court for the Middle District of Florida. Kyle earned his JD magna cum laude from the Antonin Scalia School of Law at George Mason University and devoutly served as a law clerk for many esteemed judges. Kyle will uphold the rule of law in the great state of Florida, where men do not play in world. I love this. Let me read this again. Kyle will uphold the rule of law in the great state of Florida, where men do not play in women's sports, illegal criminals are found and deported, and tough on crime policies are championed. Thank you, Kyle. How about the next one? I am pleased to announce the nomination of Ann Lee Gaylord Moe to serve as judge of the United States District Court for the Middle District of Florida. Ann Lee has fiercely advocated for Sunshine State residents as a judge on Florida's 2nd District Court of Appeals and as a trial judge on Florida's 13th Judicial Circuit Court. Ann Lee will prioritize law and order, unlike other activist judges who put the safety of illegal criminals over the safety of Americans. Congratulations, Ann Lee. I am pleased to announce this is another on the same one. I am pleased to nominate Ed Arto to serve as judge on the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida. He is currently a judge on Florida's 4th District Court of Appeals, previously serving as a trial judge on Florida's 15th Judicial Circuit Court. As a general counsel to the South Florida Water Management District, Ed has a great track record of restoring law and order, mostly importantly, common sense, which is sadly rare these days. I know Ed will do a great job for the state of Florida and our nation. Congratulations, Ed. Let's fill up these positions as quick as we can, guys. Let's get a move on. How about this? So I wanted to talk about this. We covered this the other day. You had a illegal alien from Venezuela hit and kill a U.S. Air Force member on a kayak near Grapevine, Texas. The woman, and I guess would be her boyfriend or her acquaintance, fled the scene. The U.S. Air Force woman has died, unfortunately. When they fled the scene, they got in a crash. This person was arrested. Now I want to show you this right
crossed illegally, and have they been applied? Can you please expand on their actual status, given that they are here in the country illegally? Does that mean that they came into the country, crossed illegally, and have they then applied for asylum? That needs to be cleared up for the public.
Sure. It's my understanding both individuals crossed the southern border in 2023 or 2024. They were arrested at the time of entry, processed for a notice to appear, and then released on their own recognizance.
The typical Biden way, street releases, and now you have a sad 18-year-old Ava Moore. Say her name, Ava Moore, gone way too soon. And look at what Greg Abbott said to the illegal aliens. Greg Abbott said, "Welcome to Texas. Here's your death penalty." That would be nice. That would be nice. Trump wants to do that to anybody that comes in this country illegally, stiffer punishment for illegal aliens that commit crimes. I think we need to do that. Let's see what else was on this one.
Ken Paxton says 2 undocumented immigrants have been arrested in the death of 18-year-old Ava Moore.
And Moore was the young woman struck and killed while kayaking at Lake Grapevine on Sunday. You've probably heard about this by now. Marissa Armas has been working on the story all day, and we've gotten some new details that just came down in the last half hour as well. Marissa, what's going on?
Yeah, this information just came down in the last 30 minutes, but Attorney General Ken Paxton says that the woman who was arrested earlier today is an undocumented immigrant from Venezuela. He also says that the man that helped her get away is also undocumented. Now, in a statement, he did say in part that Ava Moore's senseless death was caused by an illegal alien who should have never been in the country in the first place. My heart breaks for Ava's family and friends, and my prayers are with them as they face this tragedy. My office will continue to work with local, state, and national law enforcement partners to secure justice for Ava. And as we mentioned earlier today, the Texas game wardens and Grapevine.
Just crazy, because I didn't think illegal aliens committed crimes. I thought they were just here to pick vegetables. It's what, who was that? No Nads Nadler said. What else is the next one? Check this out. There was actually an illegal alien who wrote a threatening letter to assassinate President Trump. Let me show you this letter. "We are tired of this president messing with us Mexicans. We have done more for this country than you white people. You have been deporting my family, and I think it is time Donald J. Trump get what he has coming to him. I will self-deport myself back to Mexico, but not before I use my 30-yard six to shoot your precious president in his head. I will see him at one of his big rallies." No, this can't be true. This guy's too busy picking vegetables. Take a look at this. Here is that illegal alien right there that wanted to kill the president of the United States. And I think we got, let's see what's over here. I think we got a video of this. Load. See if it's going to load.
Now in custody after allegedly writing that he'll self-deport after shooting President Trump. In a letter that he sent to an ICE agent, the 54-year-old Mexican national has illegally entered the U.S. at least 9 times and has a lengthy rap sheet. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem reacting in a statement saying, quote, thanks to our ICE officers, this illegal alien who threatened to assassinate President Trump is behind bars. All politicians and members of the media should take notice of these repeated attempts on President Trump's life and tone down their rhetoric. I will continue to take all measures necessary to ensure the protection of President Trump. Illegal.
Man, the boldness, the brazenness, it's just crazy. So I seen this today. It said, thanks to the work of Karen A. Fox, 17, my office has uncovered evidence that Mayor Freddie O'Connell publicly leaked the names of DHS and HSI officials working with Davidson County on immigration enforcement. The information is posted on an official Nashville government website, fully accessible to the public. MS-13 and other transnational gangs could easily use this as intel for their operations. It also included details on how local officers are coordinated with federal agents, putting agents in serious danger and exposing local law enforcement to unnecessary scrutiny and targeting. Tell me how this isn't a Democrat official deliberately trying to undermine Trump's efforts to save America. Look at this. At all that information that this mayor released. That's Nashville.gov website, guys. That is insane. And then if you look further, you go through there. On Sunday, May 4, 2025, Chief John Drake called Raina Saud with HSI to ask him about immigration's operations occurring in Nashville. At the time, MNPD leadership, and quite frankly, blah, blah, blah. Gives the names, gives the information. This was no accident. This was no accident. This is, I know they're going to try to say this was an accident, but that was no accident. How do you put that on your public website? How? This is funny. They're still calling for Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the MS-13 gang member, to be brought back to the United States. That's the MS-13 gang member that did the human trafficking and everything else. Glenn Ivey, Rep. Glenn Ivey said, respectfully, Secretary Noem, if you are so confident about your illegal deportation, then you should present your evidence in court. And she responded, I love this response. Let us be clear. Kilmar Abrego Garcia will never be on American streets again. Advocating for an illegal alien, MS-13 gang member, human trafficker, and wife beater over actual Maryland constituents victimized by illegal alien crime is appalling. This ain't the Biden administration no more, folks. And then the left has been sharing these videos. They are so triggered. We've kind of showed you a couple of them. I think we showed you some in San Diego and other, but they're crying over this. Take a listen. This is what I heard.
Activists are here at federal court. The Trump administration's latest efforts to swiftly documented migrants is playing out in downtown San Diego's federal courthouse.
So advocates and attorneys are sounding the alarm about a new method that is being used to arrest people, including those who they say don't even have a criminal record. NBC7's Joey Safchik reports from the courthouse.
Activists are here at federal court watching a process of detaining immigrants unfold that they say is unprecedented, and they fear is the latest wrinkle in this discussion about access to due process diminishing.
I'm outraged. I'm shocked.
In her 12 years practicing immigration law, Emily Witzel says she's never seen this. ICE agents waiting right outside the courtroom, arresting people who've shown up for their hearings, but judges were told by the federal government to terminate their cases, leaving them vulnerable to arrest as soon as they walk outside. Once in custody, they're on a fast track to being deported.
Lack of notice and even basic human decency is what's super shocking to all of us.
No news cameras are allowed inside federal court. This video was provided to us by Alliance San Diego and filmed by the San Diego Immigrants' Rights Consortium. It appears to show a man fall to the ground while being detained in the hallway.
It leaves the individuals exposed as though they are here in an undocumented status.
According to a statement from ICE about this practice of expedited removal, an immigration judge has reviewed DHS's motion to dismiss proceedings and agreed that dismissal is appropriate in these cases. The Trump administration widely broadened the scope of who qualifies for expedited removal. Now, migrants without adequate documentation proving they've been in the U.S. for more than 2 years can be deported without a court hearing.
It's just a total disregard by the government for due process rights.
On Truth Social last month, President Trump said it was not possible to give everyone a trial.
This is basically people not given a chance to even say why they deserve to stay here.
I just find it's amazing that they want a process to remove them, but didn't request a process when they broke and cut in line in our immigration lines. And they didn't come in under no process. They broke in. They expedited themselves in, so we're going to expedite them out. Bottom line.
When we told them they would have a chance to make that case.
Immigration attorney Weitzel was in court with a client this week.
I saw the doors swing open and there were ICE agents waiting there to pick them up and take them.
She doesn't think this will help with the backlog of 4 million cases, but she does think it will instill fear and stop people from showing up for court.
There are people who were arrested yesterday who had no idea this was going to happen to them. They go home, or their children go home from school, and they're not there anymore.
Oh, cry me a river. Guess what? I was sitting in my home, not expecting people to be breaking into my country, tens of thousands a day. Cry me a river. This is what I voted for. This is absolutely what I voted for. Check this out. This is funny. They're triggered about this one too. It says, per the city, New York, the chaos of ICE arrest at an immigration court increased dramatically today, with ICE officers arresting a priest who was there as a legal observer. That's no priest. We already know what this is. This is like the Communist Lawyers Guild people, allegedly on allegations of obstruction. So you don't get to block federal officials from doing an arrest. The headline says this right here. It says, migrants and a pastor arrested inside immigration courthouse. Now, DHS hasn't released a statement, or ICE hasn't, but when they do, we already know that they were, again, obstructing these officers. And guess what? You can't do that just because you have a title. And I just seen this come up before I went on the air to the show. And I'm not a fan of Andrew Cuomo. I think he's responsible for killing a lot of people in the old folks' homes from COVID. I think he's about as bad as a used car salesman as Gavin Newsom. But listen to what he says here. This is the DSA Liberation Caucus posted this. DSA is Democrat Socialist of America. They work with a lot of the Fresno City Council members. They work with a lot of the don't know why that's happening. I'm sorry. We are back here, folks. Let's see. So DSA Liberation Caucus works with a lot of far-left Democrats in Fresno, Democrat Socialists of America. They promoted people on the Fresno City Council, like Miguel Arias, all the traitors to this country, the low-life traitors to this country. And Andrew Cuomo put this up, and I want to show it to you. It says, this must be announced for the insulting and revolting disregard for human life and legal standards that it is. This was an obvious and blatant hate crime for which the nation must have zero tolerance. Elias Rodriguez, that's the one that murdered the two people from Israel outside the Capitol Jewish Museum, says Elias Rodriguez is not a political prisoner. He is charged with murder. Look at what they said. It says the Palestinian struggle is the tip of the spear against global imperialism. As imperialism has made the entire world its battlefield, it is justified to fight it by any means necessary. That means murder, whatever you need to do, without regard for geography. This holds especially true for those of us struggling behind enemy lines inside the U.S., an entity that is an equal party in all crimes committed by the Zionists. Whether in the besieged Gaza Strip, the Red Sea, the south of Lebanon, the heart of the U.S., there must be consequences for genocide, Zionist imperialism, and those consequences are righteous. And what they shared right here, if you look at that, is free Elias Rodriguez and all political prisoners. This is from the Democrat Socialists of America. We've covered them. We told you even when they were in Fresno, they were also out there protesting Adventure Church when they were in the process of purchasing the Tower Theater. We exposed them then. These people are, again, they say by any means necessary. They don't care if somebody takes a backpack into your children's school. They want to sit with a bomb in it. They want to send a message. And I seen that and I just thought it was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Let's see what else we got here before we see something. See if anything has popped up in the last, I say hour and 30 minutes. See if there's anything new. Oh, this is great. So, you know the church that held the event in Seattle? They did the concert over the weekend where Antifa had it shut down with their violence. And then last night they did it again. There's multiple arrests made. Russell Johnson says the mayor of Seattle and his Antifa friends were so thoroughly outnumbered at the rattle in Seattle that they have resorted to leaving 1-star reviews on the church page and threatening to report us to the IRS. And it says, what next? Are you going to tell the Seattle Times to write a negative story about us? This is funny. It says, leave detailed 1-star review for Pursuit Church who helped organize events today. Probably should report them to the IRS. The same tactics and the same, I'm sitting in my basement with no life and I'm too scared to look in the mirror because what I see I don't want. These people are insane. See what else we got here. New footage, just released video of onlookers at the Grapevine Lake. No. Just checking this out. Making sure we don't miss something. Sometimes I hit end and I'm like, oh man, that would have been great to cover for the end of the show. Federal court rules. A federal court has determined that President Trump does not have authority to unilaterally impose tariffs, dealing a sweeping blow to the president's main weapon on his ongoing trade war. How does the president not have the right to impose tariffs? This is what I mean. These activist judges, this is from ABC News. I'll show it to you here. Pretty much what they're trying to say is judges now control everything in this country. They are the executive branch. They are no longer the judicial branch. They are taking executive authority now. That is crazy. We'll look into that and cover that some more tomorrow. It doesn't look like there's, let's see, what's this one? This is interesting. We kind of talked about
And I told you I would get you the definitive answer to that, and we have. And we are in the process. But more importantly, people have had questions about January 6th and whether or not there were FBI sources, not agents, sources on the ground during January 6th. And I told you I would get you the definitive answer to that, and we have. And we are in the process, again, of working with our partners to divulge that information, and it is coming. And I will tell you this. The answer to that question will surprise and shock people because of what past FBI leaders have said about it.
Former FBI Director Chris Wray eventually admitted to Congress there were 26 FBI confidential human sources in around the Capitol January 6th, but not actual agents. Can you say that's true? Are there more than that? What you're learning from that?
I can say that that is definitely a piece of the truth. Why it took a ton of time for and questioning in Congress for the director to get that point is what I'm trying to eliminate from the FBI. If Congress asks you a question under oath, whether or not there were sources in around January 6th at the Capitol, you as the director of the FBI need to know that and not deflect and give a DC answer. You have to be prepared for that. And that's the answer we're giving. That's the answer Chris Wray should have given.
And eventually everybody's going to know the whole picture.
Yeah, because the American people deserve that. And look, no one's more frustrated than me. Remember, I was chief of staff of the Department of Defense on January 6th. We said that we were ready, and the president had previously authorized the National Guard to be there days in advance. I spent 2 years, a small fortune, grand juries to testify to the truth. And what happens now, years later? We were right. Bowser and Pelosi rejected that offer, and instead of figuring out how to prevent security lapses like that ever again, the American public spent tens of millions of dollars and countless hours on TV listening to conspiracy theories because those in positions of leadership failed to tell the American public the truth.
Yeah, well, we know that. So check it out, guys. We are 2 weeks and about, 11 hours away from flying over to D.C. We're going to be there for a few days covering some protests, but most importantly, we are going there for a once-in-a-lifetime event, and a historic event, the military parade, the celebration of 250 years of our military. We will be on the ground providing live coverage. We do need your help with donations. We are 100% viewer funded. If you guys do want to help out and you want to join us along that ride, we would appreciate it. You can donate to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $, Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. And also, you can always do Zelle. If you do online banking, our Zelle address is on our website. Our website is theoreoexpress.com. We want to say thank you. And don't forget, this Friday, again, we'll be protesting Friday and Saturday in Clovis, my hometown, Clovis, California, to protect girl sports. Males don't belong in female sports. Buchanan High School, Veteran Memorial Stadium. It's going to be on the northwest corner of Nizza-Minnewawa. Friday, it'll be from 1:30 to 3:30, and Saturday, it'll be May 31st from 3 to 5. Get out there, show your support, and we appreciate all that. So once again, if you guys want to help us out with that DC trip, we would appreciate it. And we want to say thank you. I will be around the studio working tonight, so if anything breaks, you can look for us to go live and cover the breaking news. God bless y'all and have a wonderful night.
Every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard My Pillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use My Pillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard My Pillows absolutely free.
The Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll.